Welcome to Conversations Live, where we bring you the best in music, books, entertainment, and more. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 16 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. I'm really excited to welcome Nick Tabor to our program today. Nick and I actually met through a mutual friend, the one and only Evan Carmichael. We're going to talk to Nick not only about his journey to be able to be a source of encouragement for others, but what it was like for him to believe in himself, to believe in his abilities, and then, of course, to be able to share what he's been able to learn, to share that with the rest of the world. If you guys are just now finding out about Nick, of course, we'll let you know how to stay connected with him and all the great things that he's doing. But, Nick, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Hello to you, Cyrus. I'm so happy to be here. I've been excited about this for weeks, man. This is great.
Well, look, man, I'm excited to be able to have you on, and I was saying to you before we began the segment here, you know, both of us have had quite the exciting 2019, right? So I want to begin there, Nick. I mean, I've kind of been going through this last couple of months asking my guests what's that reflection been like for them. So what has it been like for you to kind of reflect on the year that's been 2019?
2019 has been like a really good year of growth for me. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I'm like, okay, this decade, we're at the decade end, what can we do to build up from here? And I turned 35 years old this year. I'm like, all right, I've got to do big things, and I can't play small. And, it's been amazing. Like, it's been amazing. I can honestly say, like, I'm not the same person I was pre the Thought Leadership Conference at all. It's always upward growth. It's great.
Wow. Well, that is an amazing thing. You know, Nick, for those who are not following you on Instagram, we definitely will encourage them to do that. You guys can find him at Nick Tabor Fitness. And I bring that up because fitness is a big part of your story and what you've been able to do for yourself and also what you've been able to do for others. So talk to us about that component. What was it, do you think, about fitness that attracted you to it?
Well, fitness itself, I mean, I've always had some form of physical fitness in my life. I've been a black belt for just about 18 years now, and I've been involved with that since I was about 5 years old. So I've always had some form of a dojo or a gym mentality. When I was at my lowest points in my life, when I was in college, I found, I had a conversation with my mom. My mom said, you're going to get married soon. You've got to lose the weight. You've got to pick yourself up. And I said, all right, message received. I've got to do this. And I just found that, with the regiments and the fitness routines, it lowered my depression to a minuscule level. I was born with cerebral palsy issues, and I reduced that like 99%. Most of the time, you can't even tell that there is an issue from any of it. And it's, I take, what I've learned from that, and I said not only, losing weight is going to make you feel good, you're going to have a better outlook, but even taking people who have high anxiety and high amounts of depression and simply teaching them like really good techniques and how to be able to work, like even just simply doing a bench press where it's not about the weight, but, being able to control yourself and breathe and move muscles and concentrate on that one point that you're doing right there helps them get out of bed, helps them move a little more and put things in perspective and say, you know what, I didn't think I could do this, but, that these series of gym sessions have helped so much. Like, I think there's one, like, I had one woman who was 71 years old, and she had been through so many points in her life of low points, and so the first time she had met somebody and she was getting married. And, it was playful, everything was fine, but she's like, I don't think I can be a really good bride. And at the very end of it, she's like, oh, I know I'm going to be strutting down that aisle. I'm going to do good. And the turnaround after 3 months was so good. She's like, "Oh, I'll show you how I'm going to strut."
Wow.
She was just adorable, and it brought that level out, and it's something so simple of, hey, I can work out, I can take care of myself, I take care of my physical self, my mental health gets better, and my mental self is good, so my physical self is good, and then it's a beautiful cycle from there that just keeps growing and growing and growing, and that's why I do what I do. That gets me up in the morning.
Right. So it's interesting to hear you talk about that, Nick, for two reasons. Two things you said I want to go back to. One, of course, and you even make it very, very clear in your bio on Instagram about, being, not only, of course, you being a fitness influencer, of course, with cerebral palsy. That being one thing, that you're not allowing yourself to be defined by that, but also you've made this about more than yourself. So I want to talk about that aspect, because it's so easy for us in life to just focus on us, what's happening with us. Mm-hmm. What made you want to turn outward and be able to say, what can I do to help others?
Well, I mean, I've always been a teacher in some form, and I think if I have this niche where I can be better, I've seen people in my life who have been extraordinarily depressed, and they just can't get out of it, and they turn to, drugs or even something worse. Thankfully not as bad as some, but and I know they can get in there and they can do better. And I've done this with friends and just showed them simple exercises, and they've improved. And I always see myself as a person who can, for lack of a better term, I've always seen myself as a person who can change the world. And I just believe one person at a time, if I can take somebody and turn their life around by just showing them that they can lose a few pounds and go, oh, okay, I can do this, and I can do this. It just makes me feel a lot better. Like going back to as I was a teacher, I've always felt in the days where I was a student in the dojo, if I rose a rank or I won a trophy or beat people in a tournament, that was good, that was fine. But when I helped kids do better and they got the ranks and they came to me and just said, hey, thank you so much for helping me, I feel so much better. And maybe it sounds a little selfish, but knowing that I can help people pull up, as you mentioned, I recently, we have a mutual friend, Evan, and we worked on, my one word. And so the one word that I came to was climb. And it's always about bringing myself up, but pulling people up to a higher point in their figurative mountain and getting better and better and better,
Wow. That's such an amazing thing, and I think, Evan definitely makes that something that people want to do. We're going to talk more about Evan. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. I am finally speaking with Nick Tabor of Nick Tabor Fitness on Instagram on our program today. We're talking with him not only about his journey to being able to encourage himself, but also to be a source of inspiration for others. You mentioned Evan, and as I said, that's how you and I connected. What was it like for you to spend that time with Evan and the other thought leaders there, Nick, and to be able to build that camaraderie and support?
It's going to sound crazy, but it was like I died briefly, went into heaven, and I got all the tools on how to be able to be a better person, and then got sent back. Like, knowing everything that I know now, it was, the words that I used at the time was, it was a transcending experience. I had met Evan when he did a test run for his tour in Boston briefly, and we immediately clicked with some similar personalities. And then when I was there, and he is so genuine, and he is that person. I mean, for your listeners who who might have seen some of his videos, like that is the person who he is on the video. He is right in your face and just absolutely believes in everything that, you know, he believes in. He believes in you so much that he can't help but uplift you. And there was so many good people, and I think being surrounded by what had to be, I think, 23 people, that includes the teachers and some of the fellow students who just had this one mission, and that they wanted to do this thing so badly, as much as I want to do it. You know, I want to be the next Billy Banks, in my opinion. It was so uplifting. I said, okay, well, this is my journey. That's, you know, this is the journey I want to do. And to see their struggles as well, and talk about how badly they want to do this full time, but they can't do it right now. And now we know we can, and we constantly stay in check with each other. Matter of fact, was one of the guys, Richie, who I'm meeting next Sunday, and then spending the day with him, and he lives only 30 miles away from me. And I'm like, I had to go to another country to come meet you. Come on, man, we should have known each other years ago. And it was just like, for everybody, it was just like, in a way, sort of like we knew each other. It felt like we knew each other for years, even though we only knew each other for a day. Within a day. And then 3 days in, we were all hugging and holding each other. And I don't really go out for a hug for a lot of people. I mean, I am a hugger among my friends and my family, but I just knew these people, and I feel like I've known them forever. Like, they're intertwined in my DNA. Yeah. So, like, I think about them, and, like, you know, I see their content, and if I'm having a day, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do any content today. I don't know what I could say. Like, I have them in the back of my head. I have Evan already going, like, let's go, post it, come on. But it's an amazing motivation right away.
Right. You know, it's funny, you mentioned Richie. You're talking about Richie Pryor?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I literally just interviewed him earlier today.
Awesome.
So it's funny that you mentioned that. But, you know, I think that camaraderie is so important. You mentioned your one word. After reading Evan's book, your one word, I came up with possibility for mine because, you know, I think, you know, that's one thing that has kept showing up in my life, that, you know, everything is possible, that there's nothing that's not possible. Is that kind of how you feel at this point? Because I love the fact what you just shared, even in what you just said, Nick, because it all begins with a decision, right? And that is the hardest thing. I know Evan is big about talking about that. Just go. Just do it. Don't worry about being perfect. Just do it. Do you think that really is the key?
Yes, it is. Because, I mean, a lot of stuff that I do, especially in my community with the disability people, you know, I maybe not everybody, but for myself, I was taught to, you know, be careful, you know, think this through, and, you know, make sure you examine every possibility before you walk in a door. And even to the down to my grandmother used to say that when I was a little child, I would walk into a room and then look at the entirety of the room before I walked in. And it was just intertwined, but he really pushed that, and that is the key, because honestly, it's like I am the expert in something, and I have a story I need to tell, and you know, I think it was Evan who said it. Is like, now that you know this, or Louis, it was him, Louis, and Mark Drager who said, is like, now that you know this, how dare you not share your story with the world, because you can lift up everyone. You know, just go, just do it. And I'm like, all right, I'm with you. And even you know, where I had the interview with Evan on one of the last days, and you know, we talked, and I was asking him about thinking about how I want to manage a legacy, and he put his hand on my knee. He says, don't think like that. You don't deserve it. Just build great work and you'll be good. you are the legacy of Evan Carmichael. And, you know, we stopped the video right then and there because I just burst into tears. But it was good tears. It was like, okay, like it was very, very, very motivating. And I think just to get going and just keep moving forward was really the best message of all of it. And, yeah, you're right. It is definitely key.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, that is the thing. So, again, everyone, Nick Tabor has been our guest for this segment. We've been talking with him not only about the journey to where he is today, how he got here, but also how he's been able to help other people along the way. So, Nick, how can our audience stay connected with you?
You can reach me, Nick Tabor Fitness, Taber. You can find that on Instagram. You can also look it up on Facebook, and you can look at my website, nicktaborfitness.com. That has all the other contacts as well.
All right. He's made it very easy for you guys. So nicktaborfitness.com is the main website. But Nick Tabor Fitness, if you guys want to go ahead and follow him on Instagram, you guys can find him there. Nick, congratulations to you on all the great things that you're doing. So glad that we got a chance to spend this time on the show together, and looking forward to our next conversation together, man.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Thank you so much for letting me babble about everything.
Hey, man, the pleasure's definitely all mine for sure. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make it a great one.